Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to the Den of the Drake. Other dragons hoard gold, while I hoard internet cringe. Today I'm coming at you with a different kind of story. Normally RPG horror stories are my bread and butter, but today's story drops the RPG part. That's right, my spooky little heart can't wait for Halloween, so we're getting spooky now. We're talking about ghosts today, ladies and gentlemen. You die with some unfinished business and bam, time to do some haunting. Imagine getting denied eternal paradise and forced to walk the earth because you didn't pay a parking ticket before you bid it. Yeah, I'd be pissed enough to be throwing all your shit around too. But as my father once said before he disappeared forever into that alley behind Denny's, son, no matter how paranormal your problems may seem, there's nothing that can't be solved by taking steroids and decking it in the face. And I never forgot those words, Dad. I'm joking. I don't use steroids. I prefer the blood of virgins because I'm a gentleman. The story I have for you today comes from 4chan's fitness board of all places. Yeah, I'm surprised it exists too. And stars a man who's too much of a Chad to be haunted. Because who's got time for paranormal activity when you gotta chase those gains? Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive right into the classic 4chan legend of the Ghost Puncher. Enjoy. This week's story comes from an anonymous user because it's 4chan, you, and is titled Ghost Puncher. Don't know if this goes on Fit or X, but whatever, here's the story. It's f***ing long, but bear with me. Friend not in this story tells us about a place to get palm readings. Lifting buddy and I go to get our palms read. We show up to this shady-ass place at 10 in the morning wearing our workout gear. The ghost bitch is already Myron. Stereotypical scraggly woman shakes our hands and seats us at the table with a crystal ball. She asks who wants to go first. My Hispanic heritage kicks in and I nope at the last minute. My friend Chad's up to the plate. The woman grabs his hand and he flexes slightly. Woman goes from smiling to horrified. Starts grabbing and studying his hand like a last will. Feeling kinda weird, man. Tells my friend that he's got something following him. Ask him if he did any Ouija voodoo bullshit. Says he smashed a hole in the wall when he was drunk lifting at home. Says there was some type of decorative skull behind it that he now uses as a decoration in his bedroom. The woman lets us leave without paying. At the gym 30 minutes later, spotting a friend while he benches. Some newbie dumbass is curling next to us. Like, no joke, 6 inches away from us. The dude slips up and swings a 20 he's holding at friend's head. Throws the bar up and ducks just in time. I almost impale myself trying to catch the bar. The newbie apologizes while friend gets back up and I'm shitting myself still. I tell friend that he should go home, but friend looks unfazed and wants to continue. Leave to Abuela's sister's house to get some sage and silver. Go back to the gym and give it to my friend. Next day. Friend looks happier than normal. Tells me some shit went down at his house. Says that the power was dead even though his bills were paid and the rest of the neighborhood had power. He heard the rattling of silverware and used the flashlight app to see. He saw a silhouette of someone crawling under the kitchen counter. Nothing under the counter, not even shelves. Friend doesn't believe in Ouija shit and believes it's an intruder or animal. Friend grabs his pull-up bar and gets ready for sweet fit justice. Yells obscenities while patrolling his house. Says he sees what looked like a small humanoid crouching in his weight room. He gives zero and tosses the pull-up bar at the window. The window shatters like a lanklet while squatting. Thing is nowhere in sight. Friend then starts to consider Ouija shit. Calls other friend for advice. Our lifting group has some odd characters. Johnny answers and tells him to bum the sage and carry the silver. Says he'll be by with some holy water. He drops it off. I'll call my grandmother tomorrow to help. She's one of the medium people. Friend sits down on his couch while the house smells like old. Watches American Dad. Looks at the sage. Dried up and out. Goes to his pocket for the silver. F***ing melted. Instead of warm, it was cold. He starts to see something dart back and forth across the room. The TV goes off and static comes on. Says a high-pitched screaming fills the house. Friend gets mildly annoyed. Walks over to the weight room and smashes the skull against the wall in a fluid motion. Like imagine walking into a room, tripping over a vase, and then going back to doing what you were doing. He did that, except throwing a skull against the wall. Says the house shook, screaming got higher, and then stopped. The lights go off again. hears numerous footsteps getting closer to him. He tells me that he's mildly freaked out at this point. I'm concerned that he says mildly. Says he doused himself in holy water and started swinging as hard as he could into the darkness. Only hears the wind breaking on his fists. Says he heard the footsteps getting further away from him. Screams, "Nuh-uh!" Starts running around his house and swinging in the darkness. F***s up his living room in the process. Tells me he swears he made contact with something fleshy a few times. Doesn't remember falling asleep. Wakes up and goes to the gym to tell me this the next day. Friend goes outside to make frequent calls throughout his routine. Ask him if he's trying to get in touch with a priest. Tells me he's been calling his home phone and leaving angry voice messages for the ghosts. Says he would buy a snake just to flatten it out with a rolling pin until it dies. Friend goes home again. Fast forward a few days. Looks completely normal. Ask Johnny if Lifting Buddy was alright. Johnny tells me it's disturbing how well he's handling the situation. Says he went to Lifting Buddy's house to check up on the situation. Feels a presence, but it feels scared. Lifting Buddy walks out of his bathroom naked, wiping his ass with a Ouija board towel. He throws it on the floor and kicks it into the living room. Pours more holy water on it and then takes it outside to burn it. Asks friend if he's hungry. Sure. Says he pulls out an opened Ouija board he bought at Spencer's and uses it as a cutting board. Says he repeatedly stabbed the cutting knife into the board when he's not using it. Breaks the board in half after he's done chopping up tomatoes and throws it in the trash. He washes his hands and then pisses into the trash can. Even I think this is disrespecting the spirits too much. They both eat grilled chicken salad and then Johnny leaves. Says that on the way out, Lifting Buddy goes into the lifting room and puts another crucifix on the wall. "I'm putting Jesus on this wall and I'll be back to masturbate on my bench press while thinking about Lucifer's whore daughter." Punches a hole in the wall before leaving. Johnny calls his abuela that night. Abuela goes to Lifting Buddy's house with a priest the next day. Says her abuela and the priest were so amazed/disturbed with how Lifting Buddy is fighting the situation. Priest actually cowered and mired Lifting Buddy pissing naked on the satanic Bible he bought at some shady bookstore. Tells priest that he walks around naked a lot lately and talks shit about Satan. Priest leaves before cleansing. Abuela stays to do their medium thing. Tries to contact the spirits. Says it was a group of entities that were very pissed that their shrine was disturbed. Tells her that they have no power since Lifting Buddy isn't remotely scared of anything they've done. Lifting Buddy walks back to the weight room with a dead snake. Abuela says the entities scatter like roaches. "Check out what I found in the street this morning." Takes out a bit of an apple. "A f***ing dead snake." He throws the snake on the floor and puts holy water and salt on it. He kicks it into the carpet a few times before peeling it off and throwing it into the trash can in the kitchen. Abuela is WTFing at this man's mental strength or ignorance. Tries to contact the spirits again. They keep running from her. Finally talks to one. Says they're scared of Lifting Buddy. Ghosts are scared of my bulky friend. Abuela asks what could make them pass on. Says that they did black magic to get revenge on some asshole landlord from way back when. Says that they had incriminating shit to shame his family within the wall with the skull. Abuela tells Lifting Buddy what he needs to do. Lifting Buddy goes into his weight room. Makes the hole in the wall bigger by throwing a 15-pounder through the wall. Finds a folder with records of some sort. I'm not lying about any of this, I swear, and especially this next part. Lifting Buddy flips through the papers and then wipes his balls with it. Abuela is horrified. He crumples them up and throws them into the corner of the room. He tells the spirits to piss off before punching another hole in the wall. A total of 13 holes at this point. Abuela says, "May God have mercy," in Spanish and then leaves. Abuela returns to Lifting Buddy's house a month later. Immediately goes to the weight room. There's more holes than wall, destroyed as fuck, but like Halo descending from the heavens, the bench press and squat rack are still there. She tries to contact the spirits. Nothing. Smiles and asks my friend if he did what needed to be done. Again, not lying about any of this. Lifting Buddy tells Abuela that he uncrumpled the papers and got the address of this bastard. Papers were from only 60 years ago, so the guy was alive, just old as dust. He finds the address of this guy in some sort of mansion. He knocks on the door wearing a "Get Swole You Must" Star Wars Yoda tank top, board shorts, pink sunglasses, and a backwards Chicago Bulls snapback. Johnny said Lifting Buddy went into a lot of detail about his wardrobe for this. Some scrawny white guy in his mid-30s opens the door. Lifting Buddy holds out the papers and asks for the person in the paper's name. "Hey Dad, someone's here to see you. He has documents." Lifting Buddy lets himself in and finds the old man in his studies.
"Who are you? Where did you get those papers?"
Old man tries to grab at the papers. Lifting Buddy punches the old man in the face. Dentures go flying, says it was like some shit out of a movie. He crouches in his face and sets the old man straight, Sherlock Holmes style. Guy's son runs in and jumps on Lifting Buddy's back. Lifting Buddy stops mid-sentence, lets the guy down, and then gut punches him until he hobbles out of the room and pukes in the hallway. Tells the old man to set shit right or he'll be back for blood. He leaves. Fast forward a couple of days. Various cars outside of Lifting Buddy's house. Thinks the old man brought some friends and grabs his pull-up bar. He walks outside in his tank top and house shorts. Various families are thanking him and giving him home-cooked foods. They thank him for getting their grandparents' properties back. The documents were apparently deeds that were swindled by the old man. Families say the whole "we'll never forget you" spiel and leave. Friend looks into the Tupperware. Nothing but calories and carbs. Cookies, briskets, gumbo. He throws it all away, then goes back to lifting in his weight room. I see the old man's name in the news a few days later. Apparently, he was hated by the community for being a dick. Somehow, only heard about him now. The news does not disclose how he died. Don't know if it was from Lifting Buddy doing more damage than he thought, the ghosts getting their revenge, or natural causes. Lifting Buddy hasn't had any paranormal problems since then, except for one. Says he went into the kitchen for a late-night, non-cheating snack and saw full-body apparitions. They smiled at him. Says he grabbed an apple, head nodded while taking a bite, and walked away to his bedroom. He stops halfway and turns around. "Holy f***, you guys were real?" The spirits fade away while smiling, and Lifting Buddy goes to sleep. Lifting Buddy still lifts and does inane shit like he always does. No one fucks with him since the ghost puncher incident. Abuela Myers every time she's around him. And I think the priest told his priest/buddies/church because everyone Myers and cowers in grace twice as hard when they're around him. Again, none of this was made up. No Walk the Dinosaur type shit. My friend legitimately beat up a bunch of ghosts. End of story. Well, as a gym enthusiast with 0 brain cells, I feel quite seen by this story. But guys, remember, none of this was made up. Ghosts are real, the Twitch streamer you donated $500 to definitely wants to bang, and you should buy Logan Paul's new crypto coin. Nah, but all jokes aside, I love the stories that bleed so much stupid that they leave me giggling like a Japanese schoolgirl. They're a ton of fun to read, and it helps break up the amount of Redditors who take things so seriously that getting a paper cut is on the same level of victimhood as getting hit by a speeding truck. Allow me to let you in on a little secret, dear listener. It doesn't matter if this story is real or not, because the internet is not real. Stories like this one remind us that we shouldn't take stuff that seriously, and adopting an absurdist mindset is often the easiest path towards happiness. Because after all, nothing stays a problem for long if you punch it hard enough. But you know what is a problem that can't be solved through punching? The fact that I haven't talked about the fan art yet. That's right, how about we take a look at this week's Gallery of the Drake. This week's fan art comes from viewer My Husband Sesemni and depicts an unfortunate knight coming face to face with death incarnate. Come to stab me for my hoard? Yeah, sure, get in line. Politicians trying to steal my money to spend on useless garbage. Oh boy, you better get ready for things to get hot in here. Now then, did the IRS send you?
"No, my lord."
Is that right? Well, to what government agency do I owe the pleasure?
"I'm from OSHA, my lord."
OSHA? My workplace environment is perfectly safe. Hey boss man, I figured out how to drift a forklift. Thank you again, My Husband Sesemni, for submitting your art. If you'd like to see your fan art featured in Gallery of the Drake, be sure to send it to the email in my About section. Fan art is my favorite part of doing YouTube, and it means the world to me that I can inspire artists like you to create artwork like this. With the story over and artwork displayed, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and send in your fan art. And if you feel like supporting the channel further, my Patreon and merchandise links are in the description. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time in the Den of the Drake.